I just got Letterboxd Pro. I got a Pro account, mainly because they kind of curate your watch list a little better, and they tell you what's on certain streaming services. So rather than opening up Netflix and looking through 100 things, and opening up Hulu and looking through 100 things, I find the movie I want, and then I find where it is. But they don't pay me, so I'm not gonna sit there and blow fucking Letterboxd. But anyway, also they give you all these stats when you get a Pro account. So I'm looking at my stats, seeing like evidently, I've seen a lot of movies with Tilda Swinton, which is weird because I don't really like Tilda Swinton. But it gives you like most directors, most films seen by certain directors, by certain actors, actresses. But also, it gives you your rank on all these lists. Like it tells you what percentage complete you have on like the top 250 IMDb movies, the top grossing box office movies of all time, AFI, whatever, top 1,000 movies you need to see before you die. And I'm looking at this list and I'm getting aggravated because I have a very low percentage on all of them. And I mean, I have a film channel. I pride myself on having seen a lot of movies. So I think maybe I need to dive into one of these lists. But then the deeper I dove in on these lists, I realized no. The first one that they present you with is the top 250 narrative feature films per the Letterboxd users. I guess. I don't know. It's some weird weighted list of just the movies that are the most popular on Letterboxd. That's arbitrary to me. That's completely arbitrary. And aside from the fact that there are a lot of bots on that site, I don't know if they're ad bots, like not advertising, but they just ad people. Because people add me on there and they have 10,000 followers, and then you can see where they added each one of them minute by minute. I don't trust them, and I'm not seeing Spirited Away. I'm not prioritizing seeing fucking cartoons. Next list was the all-time Oscar Best Picture winners. It's a good idea in theory because a lot of great movies are Oscar Best Picture winners, but a lot of them aren't. And I don't trust the Academy. The last 10 years, there's maybe two of those movies I want to see. Parasite is an exception. That's a great movie that won Best Picture and should have won Best Picture. But I'm not seeing fucking Green Book. I'm not seeing the one where the lady fucks a fish. I'm not seeing Moonlight. I don't care about Argo. I don't care about Zero Dark 30, whatever the fuck. I'm not seeing those movies. And that's not even to take into account all the old Z time Z. I'm not seeing things from the 50s. I'm not seeing things from the 40s. I mean, I will, but I'm not going to intentionally just go in chronological order. That's so boring to me. That is so boring to me. And it's nice when a film you like my favorite film, Midnight Cowboy, won Best Picture in 1969. So it's nice when a film you like wins Best Picture, but I'm not seeking out all the best pictures to see if they're all great in my eyes. That's I don't know. I'm not doing that. The next list that comes up, which another one I have like 10% completed, is the IMDb 250 of all time as rated by their users. And I don't trust those boomers. You see like every Lord of the Rings before you even scroll. You see all the Lord of the Rings, the Godfathers. I have no interest in that. I've seen the ones I've seen, and when I go my route, that list will plug whatever holes it plugs. But I'm not going through that list on purpose. I'm not doing that. And then the last list, well, there are several lists, but the last one I looked at was the top grossing movies of all time internationally. This is a list of movies. It's all franchises. It's all fucking superheroes. It's all Star Wars, Harry Potter, whatever. This is, with the exception of like Titanic and Avatar, which Avatar is going to be a fucking franchise. These are movies you put on the iPad when baby needs their dye changed. These are not, I'm not going through this. I don't care. That list I really don't care about. So I'm sitting there thinking, I want to kind of broaden my horizons. I want to see some things I wouldn't normally watch. I want to dig into a list, but I don't want one that's going to waste my time. I don't want to delve into the fucking Spider-Verse. So I start thinking, who do I trust? Who do I trust their opinion on film? And who comes to mind is John Waters. But why do I trust John Waters? First of all, he's been making films for 50 years. He's been watching them he's 74 years old. He's been at least twice my lifetime he's been watching movies. He's unpretentious. He's not going to steer me towards any classic that's going to bore the shit out of me. He's self-taught and gives lectures on film all the time. He knows his shit. And his opinions could only ever come from him. He can only ever really be himself. He's got all his quirky quirks and all his interests, and I don't say that as a bad thing. I'm saying he's living authentically. He is living an authentic life, which is what most people should strive for. But to put it bluntly, simply, when John Waters talks about movies, I listen.
Summer when I go to the movies and see trailers for all the $100 million movies that are made for China that have no movie stars in them, no dialogue and just special effects. I'm shocked, but not in a good way. Trailers used to make you want to see the movie. Now they're warnings to me not to see them. A lot of things shock me, but not in a good way. But there are directors that shock me in a good way. I think, Irreversible was a great shocking movie. Antichrist was a great shocking movie. Nymphomania was a great shocking movie. So there are still great shocking movies being made. Todd Solance's movies I love. So I'm a fan of usually feel-bad French movies are my favorite.
I've sought out many movies per his recommendation, and I've, for the most part, really loved them. I watched Krisha upon his recommendation. I watched The Golden Glove upon his recommendation, and also the 1958 version of The Blob. So some saint over at the Mubi blog, M-U-B-I, I think it's a blog, I don't know what it is. This is a blog article. Some saint over there transcribed, went through like all of his interviews, every interview with John Waters, every book by John Waters, anything where he's speaking about film, and they cherry-picked every film he ever spoke fondly of and compiled a list. Someone ripped that list and put it into Letterboxd. So that's the list I'm going to do. So this list has 236 films in it, and I've seen 46 of them. And to call this list diverse is a fucking understatement. I'll put a link to the list in the description of this video so you can look at it yourself. But based on the 46 that I've seen, he picked some of my favorites: Life During Wartime, Antichrist, and Tarnation. He also picked some movies I fucking hated, like Border, Dogtooth, and Zoo. Also, he picked a lot of movies that are on my watch list, like Import Export, Todd Haynes' Poison. But in order to keep me honest, there are movies on this list that I've tried to watch and completely rage quit on. For instance, My Winnipeg, or The Souvenir, which is a movie I wanted to like, but I fucking rage quit on that movie. Also, this list has movies I have no interest in at all, such as the new Cinderella, I guess there's a 2017 Cinderella, and the Justin Bieber Never Say Never documentary is on here. But there's also a great big fat gray area of movies I've never even heard of. So I'm excited to dive into this list. I think your movie viewing can turn, like, you know how a lot of people on social media, it becomes an echo chamber of everything they want to hear, everything they like. I think a lot of people with movies, they fall into their own little bubble. A24 bubble, Criterion bubble. I'm as guilty of this as anybody. Fall into a horror bubble, a Marvel bubble, and you don't go outside of that. The fucking Spider-Verse. Or even just the infinite scroll of Netflix movies. I don't care how many times they change the picture. I'll see Enemy when I'm ready. I don't want to see it yet. I'm sick of movies I haven't even seen from just scrolling through fucking Netflix over and over again. I think it's important to get out of that bubble, but I'm not going to do it by hate watching movies that everybody says I need to see, or movies that gross the most money. I don't need to see all of movies. You can be a fan of Time Magazine and not have read every backlog issue of Time Magazine. There are movies I can assume I don't need to see. I don't need to see La La Land. So instead of like hitting the bricks trying to watch all these stuffy classics, and just there's the type of people that just watch every fucking new release, that's not going to be me. I'm never going to be that guy. I'm never going to see all of movies, but I want to see a shit ton of movies, and I'm going to let John Waters take the wheel for a while. So that's kind of why I'm telling you this, is I've kind of been lacking direction, I subscribe to Criterion channel, and I just kind of I've been watching a lot of Mike Leigh films. I've been watching a lot of like just bad films. I watched Creep 2. Just any documentary I can get my hands on, but it's all been kind of aimless. So this kind of gives me a direction. It gives me a list to strive to finish, or at least try to complete. So that's why I'm telling you this, because it could vastly change my viewing habits for a while, and therefore maybe change this channel a little bit. So until next time, stay hydrated, and follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter at Auteur Deluxe, and also follow the aforementioned Letterboxd at Ween, W-E-E-E-N. Thank you and good night.